That School presents Classifying Quadrilaterals. A four-sided polygon is called a quadrilateral. In this video, we're going to talk about the properties of some common quadrilaterals. A parallelogram is a quadrilateral in which the opposite sides are parallel and equal in length. So we have a parallelogram. The length of this side is the same as the length of this side. The opposite sides are equal in length. And the length of this side is the same as the length of this side. And this side is parallel to this side. And this side is parallel to this side. The two diagonals of a parallelogram bisect each other, meaning this is the midpoint of each of the diagonals. A rectangle, let me write that name down first. A rectangle is a special type of a parallelogram in which the corners are all 90 degrees or right angles. So in addition to all the properties of a parallelogram, you have all the angles 90 degrees in a rectangle. And also the two diagonals on a rectangle are exactly the same length. And also being a parallelogram at the same time, the two diagonals on a rectangle meet at the midpoints. A square, as you all know, is a special type of a rectangle. And remember, every rectangle is also a parallelogram, which means a square is also a special type of a parallelogram. Therefore, it's got all the properties of a parallelogram. In addition to that, in fact, in addition to all the properties of a rectangle, which means the corners are all 90 degrees or right angles, a square has got all four sides the same length. Not just the opposite sides, but all four sides the same length. And being a rectangle again, the diagonals of a square meet at their midpoints or bisect each other, and additionally they do so at 90 degrees or right angles, which means at that point where the two diagonals cross each other, you have a right angle. You could say every square is a rectangle, but not all rectangles are squares. Every rectangle is a parallelogram, but not all parallelograms are rectangles. A kite is a different type of a quadrilateral in which two pairs of adjacent sides are the same length. So this side and this side are the same length. That's one pair. And this side and this side are the same length. So that's another pair. Two pairs of adjacent sides are the same length. One pair of opposite angles have the same measure. This angle out here has got the same measure as this angle. And these two angles have got different measures. And the diagonals on a kite cross each other at 90 degrees, meaning we have a right angle over here at the point of intersection of the two diagonals, and one of the two diagonals is actually bisected. The other one isn't. This is not the midpoint of this diagonal, but this is definitely the midpoint of this diagonal. That's what the properties of a kite are.